All right, what is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, go back, guy 231 across the DFS industry. Hope everybody had a great second day of World Cup. A lot of picks were pretty good. A lot of my decisions on my own personal lines were pretty bad. Was lucky to get some showdown salvages. Late was good, but England, when a team scores 6 goals, like especially in GPP, if you're playing that big field GPP, having a lot of that goal contributions was huge. Like having Luke Shaw, having Saka, having Kane, even without any shots. Kane got no shots on goal. So did value. I was very underweight on Kane. I did a lot of Steven Berghuis when he got in. Thought he'd be lower owned. Thought there was a chance he could take some sets over Gakpo. Still love Gakpo. Gakpo crushed. That was awesome to see him on the cover and crush. But Berghuis, if you played him, I think that pretty much killed you for $9,400, whatever he was. But anyhow, short memory. We got lots of slates. 4-gamer tomorrow. Quick reminder, like, subscribe, comment to this video. Really helps. I'll just tell you, like, it's been an insane day. Sitting at the computer right now, 6:34, trying to grind this out for you guys. Nothing makes me happier, makes me feel better than to see those likes and subscribe and help these videos do well. And finally, if you want to join up, $40, rest of the tournament. I'm probably going to shut that down. What is today? Tuesday, like Thursday, and it'll just go week to week. So that's your best chance for great value. All the showdowns, all the slates. Tendril Storm and I covering. We'd love to have you aboard. Link is in the bio. All right, let's get to it. I'm going to do the quick. And by when I mean quick, very quick look at Argentina versus Saudi Arabia. If you wake up for this at 5 a.m., more power to you. I'm going to pop up, take the dog out, take a piss, send out a core, but it's messy. It's funny they have no 2 number 10s here. Di Maria just smashes for Argentina. And as much as you can here. I'll have sets in the morning for FSI members, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to take the cheapest possible play that you can get on Saudi Arabia. They're not going to have much of the ball at all. Argentina is my 7-14 favorite. So it's Messi, it's Di Maria. If you can fit Lautaro, I think those are the places. The funniest thing about Argentina is the midfield doesn't do all that much. Like, Rodrigo de Paul is a really good player. Actually does pretty good work for them, but from a floor perspective, it's just not really there. Like, he gets a lot of tackles and fouls drawn. I don't know how many tackles he'll get. Actually, it's funny. I just remember there's like a stat. We always think tackles happen a lot when it's like a team getting dominated, but a lot of times it's actually the favorite team because they press so high up the line. You get a lot of tackles there. So DePaul's fine. I haven't really looked at salaries too much on here, but it's Messi, Di Maria. I think if you can fit Lautaro, that's great. If not, Paredes is taken before, DePaul's taken before. It should be Messi and Di Maria, but again, Paredes and DePaul both could take. Molina actually takes for his club too, so you got a lot of set craziness with Argentina, but really focus on the attackers and you'll be fine there. Let's go into the slates that I have done the research for. Let's start with the first game of the slate, Denmark versus Tunisia. Denmark's minus 167. One of the locks of the slate is Christian Eriksen. Takes monopoly set pieces for Denmark. Denmark should control possession here. Eriksen is just unbelievable for Denmark. Like, this is like Spurs Eriksen and then some. He was actually having, I think, what was it, the first or second game of the Euros, he had his heart scare, but he was set to smash. Denmark's actually a pretty good team. Tunisia is okay, but okay is being nice. So Eriksen monopoly set pieces, I'm all over him. Scott Wilson takes for Bruges, but he shouldn't take over Eriksen here. The problem after Eriksen is the rest of Denmark is really, really pricey. I think Dolberg is interesting at 6,400, but a lot of times he subs early. So do Eriksen. I'm going to kind of just right now reveal my build is I'm going to try to jam in Eriksen, Griezmann, and Mbappe. I think there's the value to do it. I'll get to those value plays, one of them being on the other side of Tunisia. But with me prioritizing those 3 stars, it really doesn't leave much room in the middle tier. So for GPPs, guys like Damsgaard, Skavelsson, Dolberg, Joachim Male, I think is how you say it, he crushes for Denmark, gets forward a ton. He's actually on his off foot, so it's not like he gets 9 crosses, but he gets in the box a ton and scored a lot of goals in the Euros for them. So I think he's really interesting as a guy not many people will have that can do well. Daniel Wass similarly. These wingbacks, funny enough, for Denmark don't cross a ton, but they are very active. Øyberg from Tottenham actually is really good for Denmark as well. But just understand, even though Eriksen's showing here in a 4-3-3, it's more of a 4-2-3-1. Eriksen will be very attacking. So just know he's fine to go forward. If you can afford Schmeichel, that's fine. On Tunisia's side, Wabi Krasri is one of the biggest misprices of the slate at 4,000. I should take close to Monopoly of set pieces. Slimani, like not that Slimani, a different one. I don't know much about this guy. But I saw a few corners and stuff like that. He could get involved. Abdi crosses the ball a decent chunk as well. So those are viable, but 4,000 for Kasri is too cheap. So he's one of the value plays I really like. Yeah, that will do Denmark and Tunisia. Let's move on to Mexico and Poland. This is the sleep game of the slate. I don't think you need to prioritize anything here at all. Mexico, Alexis Vega has actually been really, really good for them. He would be my favorite play in this game by far. If I had to play anybody, but because of Griezmann, because of Mbappe, because of Eriksen, I don't have to play him. But if you want to get off any of that chalk, I think all those guys will be the three most owned players on the slate. Alexis Vega could be an interesting way to do that. Andres Cuadrado, whenever he starts for Mexico in international games, he takes some sets, even like when the data doesn't show it. So he's a value. He's like 30. I think he's in the 3Ks. I think he's interesting. Edison value. Alvarez is too cheap too at 3,400. He's kind of like your Declan Rice today. So like no like set share, no role, just a really good player on a not nearly as big a favorite as Declan Rice today, but Mexico's a little bit of a favorite here. Poland is just kind of a disappointing team. Like I still remember last World Cup, them elevating their rankings. They were pool 1 and they just were so bad. I feel like Poland a lot of times in these situations disappoints despite having some good names. So I'm not scared to play Alvarez if needed. Irving Lozano he and Lozano and Vega are the best players. Lozano, used to take a lot of sets, especially with PSV, even for Mexico, but I think he'll give way to Vega and Cuadrado, maybe. Vega, it would be like, for me, Vega definitely taking some sets, Cuadrado underline, Lozano underline as people that could. Henry Martin, GPP or bust. Gallardo is the left back that gets forward a ton. Jorge Sanchez does as well. Neither one are huge crossers. I much prefer the Denmark guys to them. Let's go to Poland. Lewandowski. He'll probably be more owned than he should. I have no interest in him whatsoever. Unless like you're like a site, I don't know if I think Roto Grinders, I'm sure is doing projections and some other places. Maybe his ownership is like 0, then I guess there's interest for GPP, but that's just not really how I play. So yeah. I'm trying to sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Yeah, so Lewandowski is I just don't think he's gonna play. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Probably means that he's gonna put a couple of goals on things, but what can you do about it? Zielinski and Szymanski should split sets. I think Szymanski's been more preferred to Zielinski. Zielinski's had a great season for Napoli. Both of them are fine. I was hoping Szymanski would be like 4K. That's how he's been in a lot of these like Euro slates, but he's not. Cash and Zalewski, I guess they're fine. Cash is the more attacking too. Zalewski like plays wingback for Roma, but just like, not a big time crosser or anything. So I don't expect them to do that here if he's in. Swiderski's fine, whatever. I'm just not that excited about Poland. I would just rather save my roster flexibility for France in case I need to pivot off of like Mbappe or Griezmann for ownership reasons. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Let's go to France and Australia. France minus 400 here. So Benzema left, got injured. Guys like never going to play a World Cup. It doesn't feel like for them. It's a shame. But Griezmann and Mbappe split. Little known fact is that Mbappe takes some corners for France. So not only is he a great goal upside, but he is also really, really live for some floor here. And Griezmann has been awesome since leaving Barcelona for Madrid. He's been fantastic. And he's always fantastic for France. So he's a great play. So Griezmann and Mbappe, that's why they're on the cover. Just lock them in. I really hope this is Lucas Hernandez and not Theo. Lucas is a lot less attack-minded than Theo is, but he is so much cheaper. He's 3,800, really good player. That's how they were in the last World Cup. But Theo Hernandez, Lucas's brother, has ascended to one of the best left backs in the world. So I'd be really interested. But like this is how France played last World Cup with Lucas Hernandez and Benjamin Pavard. Both guys that are kind of like back three center backs for Bayern, and they play fullbacks for France because Deschamps is defense first, a lot of play on the counter, which is why we can still consider a great value for Australia despite the odds. Tchouaméni, Fofana, Rabiot, all good midfielders. Rabiot is the most attacking of the bunch. Giroud, most beautiful man in football. I'm not afraid to say that. It's the truth. But Giroud, goal or bust. But I think, especially if you're on late and you're chasing, like it's not gone well so far, maybe you get off of Griezmann or Mbappe for Giroud and for ownership reasons. Maybe if you leave like 2 spots, you could do that. So yeah, that's friends. For Australia, we're interested in one player only. That's Aaron Moy, 3,600. It's crazy. He crosses the ball a ton. That's back to Huddersfield Day. I still think he still crosses the ball a ton. It's going to take all their set pieces. 3,600. Yes, he plays defensively. I don't care. I need value. 3,600 and boy, sign me up. Jackson Irvine, good player. I don't really know much about the rest of them. I was looking at B Hick, crosses decent chunk. He's like 3,600. I don't think Atkinson does very much. And you can play the other guys. I do know Mabel actually gets forward quite a bit. I remember him from some like interleague slates or Europa League slates or Champions League. I don't remember. I think he played for Midland for a while. He used to cross the ball 10, so that'd be interesting. I don't know how much he is, but he could be in play. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, that'll do it for this fight. I hope that this helps. Really is kind of a fun build though. You got some values, you got some studs, and then you have some obvious chalk positions, right? We know that all the ownership is going to be on Mbappe, Griezmann, I think Eriksen. I think there's going to be a ton of ownership. I expect all of them over in the 50% plus range. And that immediately means that you got like nice little pivots, especially on a guy like Eriksen where the goal equity is not nearly as high as for Griezmann or Mbappe. That's a really good place to move around, leverage ownership on these bigger GPPs. That's how you're going to win those tournaments. That's what we saw today, right? It wasn't, you had some higher owned guys in there, but it was a guy like Taremi. And it's a huge dog for England that ended up pushing people up to the top. So more power to those that played him. I had with tickets one, I had like 10 seats in the $20 thing, and I think I cashed 2, maybe 1. Wasn't good. Did not have the right combinations. Hoping that I will tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching again. If you enjoy these videos, I will not miss a slate. Promise you that. I will not miss a slate. Like, subscribe, comment. I really do appreciate it. With that, I'll say, see you.